What's going on, everyone? This is Zach with StrictlyShisha, and Alchemist tobacco is now available from hookahjohn.com. So if you've seen my other videos on Alchemist tobacco, it's a very unique tobacco because it's aged in bourbon barrels for 60 days. And I've done some reviews on the original line, the normal modernistic tobacco line. But today I'm testing out the Stout line for you guys. And when I first got the Stout line, I had a bunch of packages and some of them were not labeled. So I picked out the first one that was not labeled because I found it a challenge. I opened it up and smelled it. And this is actually the one that I am smoking today, and the unlabeled one. So when I first got that initial smell, I got a really zesty citrus note from the smell. Cooling, and I thought almost as like a grapefruit, because grapefruit is a very citrusy, zesty fruit. So that's almost what I got from the smell of this. So as I was smoking it, I smoked it a fluff pack, I decided to fluff it, in a Goodfella bowl with foil. I used 3 titanium cubes. And not knowing what the flavor was, I'd say it was like a zesty grapefruit with some lemon notes in there, maybe a little bit of orange. And it was a very, very good flavor. And I was getting a sweetness in there that I wasn't expecting and couldn't exactly pinpoint. So I did some research, looked online, and I also talked to Angela. It's nice to have a brand like this where you can speak to the owner, because it is a tobacco that's made here in the USA. I could speak to Angela. I talked to her about the flavor, and I noticed that it was a lemon mint, part of the Stout line. And now, as I'm smoking today out of my Chica Skyrim, I'm using my aluminum D-hose, using the Goodfella bowl. I have this almost a semi-dense pack, fluffed it and just patted it down, even to the rim, with the Cloud Lotus with 3 titanium cubes in here. And I'm gonna tell you guys what I'm getting today. So as I'm smoking this, I've noticed that the more heat you load onto this, the more bold flavors you're getting. And I am getting a very cold, very cold, actually I was not expecting this from a lemon mint. A lot of times if it's too cold, it overpowers the lemon. But this is actually very surprisingly a very cold mint when you start, with a very strong and zesty lemon note in there. And I would say there's a little bit of other citrus notes in there. That's why I got the grapefruit the first time, and maybe even a little bit of orange. But now today I can definitely pinpoint that it is a lemon flavor, and it's really enjoyable. And I like the fact that it's super cold, and they were able to counter that with a very cold, icy, zesty lemon. As I get further along into my session, I notice that the coolness drops down a little bit, that zestiness stays there, but there's a sweet note in the background. And that was the first time when I was smoking it, fluff packed in my first session, I noticed a sweet note in there, but it wasn't a sweet note that I would say would be attributed to the sweet lemon. It was almost like a sweetness from the tobacco, and it was a very different sweetness that I wasn't expecting, and a lot of different from the other sweet lemon mints on the market. And I could say this is either attributed to the aging in bourbon barrels, or the actual stout dark tobacco leaf, that sweetness that you might get from that, is what's attributing to this background flavor. And as the session continues to progress, the actual zestiness also dies down a little bit, and it levels out into this like sweet, very different like lemon mint flavor. And the sweetness and the background flavor that I'm getting from the Stout line is even different from the original line, the not Stout line that I get from Alchemist tobacco. And if you were to compare the actual cut of the Stout line versus the original, you can see in this picture here that the Stout line is much darker. It's very similar in cut, both of them are finely chopped. I have the first batch of the original line, and I'd say that they are very equal in stem count. It's easier to recognize the stems though in the Stout line because the tobacco leaves are so dark and the stems are quite light, so it's just easier to notice. But the quantity of stems alone doesn't really matter to me, but you can definitely see a stark difference in the coloration of the tobacco, and I also think that represents the flavor that I'm getting from this today. So I would say that the Stout line does differentiate in flavor than the original line. But there are no additional tobacco notes in this. Actually, there's very little tobacco notes in this, and that was something I was not expecting. I was expecting with a much darker leaf tobacco that I would get nice, robust tobacco notes, but I wasn't getting that at all. And I have smoked the double apple as well, and there was no tobacco notes at all. I would say in terms of the buzz strength from the Stout line, it's comparable to the original Alchemist line of tobacco. Today I'm not getting a buzz at all, but I have gotten a buzz from the original line. But for me, buzz all depends on how I'm feeling that day, how stressed I am, what I've eaten, and what time of day I'm smoking. I'm smoking in the afternoon right now, almost outside. I'm technically halfway in my garage. but that's besides the point. So in terms of buzz, no additional buzz from the Stout line. So this is very different from the original line. Nice bold flavors, takes heat very well. Like I said, you throw on the heat and you get even more flavor. I've yet to burn it, although I've only smoked 2 bowls out of this. I've yet to burn it. So basically, it's my first look, and I think that this flavor is very good, and it's very different from a lot of other lemon mints on the market. It's not the best lemon mint I've ever smoked, but it definitely holds its place along with all the other lemon mints on the market. And you guys should definitely check out the Stout line by Alchemist Tobacco. I'm really enjoying the flavor profile. I'm enjoying how it performs. The cloud output is enjoyable, and it's pretty easy to use. I said underpack, overpack, fluff, dense. Pack it however you guys want to the flavor profile they're looking for. If you're looking a little more bold, richer flavors, pack it higher, load on the heat, and have some fun. So check it out at hookahjohn.com, and thank you Alchemist Tobacco for sending this out to me. I really do appreciate it, and thank you guys as always for watching. Feel free to thumbs up or comment below. But you guys have a wonderful night. Thank you guys very much. Take care.